And so yesterday I started talking about how to deal with difficult people, and this isn't for like inviting abusive people into your life, but it's more about how do we deal with people and kind of decide if they're willing to work on this relationship, if they're willing to work on themselves, and helping people to grow. So how you respond or react to a person's behavior immediately after it occurs determines whether or not that behavior is likely to be repeated again. So you can encourage behavior or discourage behavior. Having a smart or sarcastic comeback or reply may actually, it rarely helps the relationship itself. It might help that interaction and diffuse a bully, but does it help the relationship? In fact, it actually might do more harm than good. So it's better to do relationship building, growing and learning together. Because it's not about controlling somebody else, it's that we're all growing in our lives. We are all learning as we go, and by helping people in their lives grow and learn, we can help each other develop throughout our lives. Improvement is a lifelong process. However, we might be subconsciously rewarding the wrong behavior. We might actually encourage bad behavior by giving unintentional reward to inappropriate behavior. So intentionally and thoughtfully thinking about how our response to their behavior might be encouraging or discouraging behavior. So then in that way we can help improve their behavior and their lives, right? So there's possible ways to encourage appropriate behavior, and I listed a few of them in the last video, but I'll just kind of reiterate them here. The verbal praise, or actually more than verbal praise, encouragement, right? We want to like say, hey, I like how you really organize the house. It keeps everything moving smoothly, and that's really specific. Like it's really pointing out what they've done and what the benefits are. Another way is with quality time, just really being more focused on them, giving them more attention overall, positive attention. Gifts, like maybe, you really appreciate the way somebody is, and so you're more likely to bake their favorite cookies. Written notes, little post-it notes that say, hey, I love you, the way that you greet me so warmly. Just a written note of something that's really encouraging. Acts of service, just doing something for them. Relaxation time, allowing time for their favorite hobby, making sure that they have that time. These are things that you're doing for somebody because they are really treating you well in the relationship, right? Special meals, cooking extra special, cooking extra well, or going out to a favorite restaurant. Doing fun things when the relationship is going well. Another way is by giving them privileges, like going out of your way to make things better for them because they went out of their way to make things better for you. Another way to encourage behavior is to give little compliments about them in front of others, not like to gush and make everybody uncomfortable and just be weird about it, but just little comments, words of recognition around others. Another way would be tickets to events, something special that that they wanted to see and the relationship's going well, so you're really, treating them well. And also celebrating small wins. So make sure that you're the type of person that is encouraging and celebrating their success, not jealous over their successes. So did something good happen to them in their life? Did they get a raise? Did they get a promotion? Did they win a race? Just offer cheers and kudos. And then also another way is to make a record of rights. Keep a record of all the things that you've noticed them doing right over time and remind them, recognize it, appreciate. You remember, so it's worth it for them to continue to do it, right? And then there's also consequences. So if someone is mean to you, you don't have to continue to reward them. That's what consequences means, right? There should be consequences when people are mean or cruel to you, right? And maybe they don't even know how it feels on the receiving end. They don't even understand the impact of it. So they need to learn not only for how they interact with you, but how they interact with others. And this will not only affect the relationship with you and with others, but it will affect and improve their entire life, if they can understand how things that they say to you or do to you interact your relationship with them. So when you stand up for yourself in a relationship, you're helping the other person grow in a way that will have unlimited benefits to them in their own life. So you're helping them learn. So consequences, like time apart, like a short break to cool down. If someone is mean to you, you are not obligated to continue to be their best friend. That's what I'm saying here. Not ghosting. You just take a break. You might let them know. It also could mean like just reduced interaction. You might, like people talk about ghosting. I think the world just needs people to help other people understand, right? Rather than just cutting people off. Otherwise people don't learn and grow. But so reduced interaction can also be appropriate. And an example of this would be like they text you, but you don't really engage in the conversation. You don't really ask reciprocal questions. You're just being quiet, and maybe even say, well, when you made fun of me in front of others, it hurt my feelings. I need a little time and space to sort through my emotions. And that's just letting them know, right? Maybe you'll have loss of privileges, right? Maybe you have a cabin that you typically go to on the weekends together, and this weekend they're not invited. Doesn't mean that forever they'll never come to your cabin again, but just one example where people might lose privileges. It just temporary. You're helping them learn, the people in your life learn and grow, right? Maybe increased responsibilities. Maybe they haven't been picking up after themselves. So for a while, maybe they should be in charge of all of the cleaning so that they can understand how much work it takes just to keep the status quo the way the things have been. So you're just increasing their responsibilities to help them understand the magnitude of the job. And maybe reparations are appropriate, an apology. It's okay to say, look, we're not gonna, I'm gonna just do my own thing here for a while until I get an apology from you. We're not gonna go out for dinner. I need an apology for what you said and did. Let them know you're waiting on that apology. And if it's a really bad thing that they've done, maybe they need to write it down. A written reflection of what they did and how it affected the relationship and you. And this is just acknowledging and helping you to understand if they understand that what they did was wrong. Because if they don't understand what they did was wrong, then maybe the relationship doesn't work. So this is a way of kind of finding out about other people. Escalation. So escalation means that if the consequences you did before really didn't have an effect because the behavior keeps repeating it, escalate. Make the consequences more severe over time. You might want to limit access. Maybe a friend has been really mean to you, but you usually go jogging together every Saturday morning. However, this morning you decide to go to the favorite park that you two used to go together, and this time you just go without them. You're setting boundaries. You're saying, with not just with your words, with your actions, that if you mistreat me, it will affect our relationship. Another consequence can be supervised interactions. So you've seen a text come through on his phone and it seems pretty suspicious. Okay, you have reason to believe there's something going on with him and another woman. So it's, it's pretty suspicious, or maybe it's even just totally red-handed, obviously, right? You know exactly what's going on. So now as a natural consequence of that would be that you have unlimited access to his phone. If he's not doing anything wrong, if he plans on truly changing, this shouldn't be an issue. In fact, it should be a way, what he wants to do, to prove to you that he changed, to prove to you that he's not going to do that anymore. So if he won't allow it, maybe this relationship doesn't work because he's not being accountable for his actions. And that's a basic requirement of a serious relationship. Another consequence might be mediation. So you've caught him gaslighting, you've caught him stonewalling, etc. And he just keeps twisting your words. So, and he does things to attempt to humble you. Guys do that sometimes. They'll totally criticize you until your esteem starts dropping. Bringing in a third party might be necessary to help you have more honest and genuine conversations. Another might be a written reflection. They write to you a note about how they're planning to change, the actions that they're planning to take. Another one might be a behavior journal. Like I've talked about keeping a record of rights, also keep a record of wrongs. In fact, with all difficult people in your life, keep a detailed behavior journal of all their rights and their wrongs so that you know that they're being held accountable. A behavior journal so that you know exactly what they did, when they did it, how often they've been doing it. And this will also help you see patterns. That if there isn't a change, you know you need to give up because they need to be working on themselves. They need to be motivated to change. We all do, right? We all expect it of ourselves, right? We expect it of ourselves. We're constantly working on ourselves, right? Because that would be what people do when they're responsible, healthy, emotional adults, right? So if we do it for ourselves, we should expect it from others. Nobody's perfect, but we should all be making progress and improvement throughout our lives, right? And be consistent. Respond consistently. Remember, how you respond immediately after a behavior determines the likelihood that it will be repeated. And try to develop routines with the difficult people in your life that you have to interact with frequently. So if you can agree on a specific day that this or that will be done, and be very consistent on your responsibilities and be very dependable on your end, and you can help reduce the friction and actually build trust in that difficult relationship. Another consequence could be therapy or counseling. I'm a firm believer in counseling, but it's not something that people who need it actually do. Okay. Typically, counseling is sought by the people who need to cope with the people who should be going to counseling. Okay, so if you're going to counseling, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Usually it means there's something wrong with somebody in your life, right? Counseling means you're probably the healthy one in the relationship, and that there's somebody in your life that needs to go to counseling. So people who should be going to counseling rarely go because those types of people do not have the capacity to believe that anything could possibly be wrong with them. They don't believe that they don't need to change anything. They think it's everybody else. So why should they go to counseling? That's why the people who should be going to counseling are not the people that are in the counselor's office, typically, unless they have real rock bottom. Another consequence is loss of trust. Communicate the impact of their words and behavior on the trust in the relationship. This is where a record of wrongs comes in handy as well. So when you can list the times that they broke the trust, and you can list that over time and show that it's building. Well, you lied to me here. This is how I got you. They lied to me here. They lied to me here. Now you want me to trust you, right? Like I had a guy in my life, and I said, so, I said, do you chew? The reason why I asked him if he chewed is because I could see chew in his mouth. I could see it, like it had gotten on his teeth. And he said, no, I could smell the peppermint or the spearmint, right? He said, no, I don't chew. And I said, I can see it in your mouth. He's like, okay, well, sometimes I do. And I'm like, so now at that point, the trust is broken, right? Because he's lying about chew when he's actually actively doing it. So that the trust is really broken at that point. And just bringing that up. What I didn't bring up was that over and over again, how, he always wanted me to trust him. And it's just like, well, I should have kept more record of wrongs so that, he could understand. Because I don't think he was a totally bad guy, but he just didn't understand how when you lie to people, they don't trust you anymore, period. That's the way it goes. And so I think this, record of wrongs would have really helped me. So if you can keep that and keep helping them, remind them about this interaction, it can help them understand why the relationship is in trouble right now. So if you impose these consequences, there are people who will leave you, okay? This is all about discovering who other people are, okay? So you can't force people to be different than who they are. You can only discover who they are. So if they want to mistreat you and expect no consequences, then the sooner you know that, the better. Imposing consequences for abusive or harmful behavior will get rid of the people in your life who never intended to change. They never would have. They never will. And they don't really care about you anyway. But the people who do care about you, they will actually respect you for responding in this way and appreciate. Good people will appreciate being held accountable because they want to change. They want to be better people. And they also will truly treasure the opportunity to learn. They will truly treasure getting another chance, and they will improve themselves so that they can stay in your life. So I hope this is helpful. If so, like and subscribe. Thanks.